I'm here with Sophfronia Scott, author of the novels All I Need to Get By and Delight Lives Here. She has a BA in English from Harvard and an MFA in writing from Vermont College of Fine Arts. Her stories and essays have appeared in various publications, including the Killens Review, Ruminate, Saranac Review, and Oh, the Oprah Magazine. Thank you, Sophfronia, for joining us today.
Thank you, Brian. I'm happy to be here.
As you know, Frederick Baker will soon be turning 90 years old. Is there anything you would like to wish him for this great milestone?
Mr. Buechner, yes, I really want to say, Mr. Buechner, on your 90th birthday, I wish you continued grace and peace. I believe that a person can only give grace and peace when they have received it themselves, and I offer this because it is what I've received from you, from your words, from your writing. Now I'm returning this absolutely most precious and loving gift to you. So grace and peace to you, and thank you so much, and happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Sophfronia. That was beautiful. I'm sure Mr. Buechner will greatly appreciate hearing from you. Next, can you tell me how you first learned about his work?
Well, I'm a member of an Episcopalian church that I joined about 5 years ago. And my pastor, Pastor Kathy, is very fond of quoting Frederick Baker, and I did not know who he was. And I was thinking that every time she quoted this guy, he made a lot of sense to me, like hit me right here in the heart. And I said, okay, I have to find out more about this person. And I started seeking out his work.
That's great, thank you. What would you say most attracts you to his writing?
His voice. You know, I'm a person, you can have a voice that is blustery, or you can have a voice that is timid, but what attracts me is a voice that is quiet but profoundly strong. And that's what I find in him, that there is a depth that is so drawing. It's just attracting to me, because I know that what he's saying comes from deep down within him, something that he's not just writing off the top of his head. He's working through something that he's experienced, and he's standing on solid ground and expressing certain truths. I love that. Absolutely love quiet strength.
How would you say Mr. Buechner's writing has influenced your own career?
Well, he allowed me to know that it's okay to write about faith on the page. When I was in college, I wrote an essay about this quote from the Psalms about, what is man that thou art mindful of him? And I probably wrote about it too fervently, because I felt strongly about those words. And I had the teacher that I had at the time basically said, whoa, this might be, you might put people off with this, it's a little too fervent. And so I've had that caution ever since about writing about faith. I knew I felt strongly about spirituality and wanting to write about God, but I just thought it didn't have a place in my writing. Frederick Baker taught me that not only does it have a place, it's almost like a requirement for me to do so, that if I have this ability to put faith on the page in a way that can be meaningful to people, then it's my duty to do it, because it will help a lot of people. So, and I learned that from reading Now and Then, where to hear him talk about how he realized that a lot of writers write about the absence of God, and that he realized that if he, the next novel that he was going to write, that he was going to write about the presence of God on the page. And I knew that that's what I want to do. That's what I can do. And he told me that that's okay to do it.
What is Baker's book most to?
Well, Now and Then, which I tend to keep very close to me on my desk. Now and Then, because he talks about vocation and about coming to that sense of not just his own faith, but what he was going to do as a writer. So that meant a lot to me. The same with the book Telling Secrets, because he writes about how that exploration of what he calls the mystery, that exploration on the page is important, not just for the people who read it, because there is the possibility you're going to change a lot of people when you explore that on the page. But it's important for you as well, because you could open up something for yourself and continue on this amazing journey by making the exploration on the page. So I got that from Telling Secrets. I also love wishful thinking because of what he says about grace and how God is essentially saying to us, here's the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen, but you are not alone. I keep that quote in one of my journals, and I carry that around with me. His messages are so heartening to me, so I carry them around. They're like my little talismans all the time, both in my head, on the page, and in my heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Of any of your recent books, would you say there's anything that specifically is inspired by Mr. Buechner or his writings?
Oh, definitely in the novel I recently finished. It's called The Light Lives Here. That's a book that it's about relationships and it's about love. And, in any other way, I probably would have gone the more commercial route and focused mainly on the love, the relationships, especially the physical relationships. But at the heart of the main romance in that book, I knew that these people fell in love because this woman captured this man's spirit, that it wasn't just about heart, that it was about soul. And so I knew that I wanted to put that on the page. What does it look like to capture someone's spirit? And to me, that is the depth of love, right? I wanted to tell a very true story about love, and to do that, you have to talk about spirit. And I went into that with a lot more confidence because I knew that this is what Frederick Baker would do. He wouldn't shy away from that.
Wonderful. More broadly speaking, what influence would you say that Mr. Buechner has had on the world?
Oh, he's opened the door for so many people in terms of exploring faith. And it's a door that I feel people can much more readily and easily walk through. And the way he did that is by relating faith to our everyday lives, right? He made it so that we could see that Jesus Christ is not someone away and separate from us, that he is within us. And if we can only look at our lives and if we can only listen for him, that we will find him. He made that kind of faith accessible. So that's a gift. To me, that's a gift because faith is hard as it is, and religion makes it even harder. And he provided a way for people to see, just in the glory of our everyday lives, that God is here and he loves us.
I know that this is a little bit difficult, but if you were to sum up Fred in a few words, what would you say?
Grace. He is a man of grace. Life, because he has striven to understand this tremendous, incomparable gift that we've been given, the gift of life. And a quiet ferocity and determination, because it takes that kind of focus to sit and write the way that he does. So that's, and peace, I would say peace, because he is a peaceful presence. So grace, peace, life, quiet ferocity.
Well, that concludes our interview, Sophfronia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, Brian.